Hey guys, the bum Guy Smiley finally showed back up. We're just having some Danish for breakfast this morning. We'll have a little talking. Back in a few. We're back. I'm going to talk about some of the prepping skills. Since I just put my sewing video up.
We'll have to fight over that one later. I got a cane.
I'm bigger than you.
That's true too.
So, yesterday was kind of like, I don't know, I just kind of did that video and put it up. Because I had to fix those curtains. Those are the curtains, by the way.
Ooh, they turned out nice.
Just had to get them a match in the middle. But I thought, there's some of these skills that are, well, seem kind of girly, but I don't know, my wife can't sew worth a hoot.
Yeah.
Most of my kids can't sew, none of them.
My wife, when pretty much she figured it out within the first, 3 days from when we were going out, that I'm a way better cook than she is. And so she'll just, let me do most of the cooking and stuff, and it's a skill I learned from my grandmother and my mom. And I never thought that cooking was girly because I read about the logging camps and the cooks there, and you didn't mess with the cooks.
No.
And so it was one of them.
But you were raised in that kind of area too, though.
Yeah, a little bit. But it's just one of these where, to me, I like to make people happy, and what better way by cooking,
Everybody's got to eat.
Yeah. And I never liked mechanics, and my brothers would, all I had to use, got a lot more. Got one, from FatMan here, and got it home, and my brother was looking at it, and all it cost me was making some hamburgers on the grill, So there's always trade-offs and stuff where if you like it, if you like to do it, it's fun. I knit. FatMan had said that he knows how to knit. I use a loom. And
I've been a while since I've been done doing any knitting.
But I can make hats and do flat panels, for scarves and stuff like that. Things that I don't necessarily enjoy doing it, but I think it's kind of neat and cool. And that, hey, I can at least, if I need a scarf or, see a need, I can make something. You take one resource and turn it into, take the raw material. I know how to take, I never sheared sheep before, but
I have.
You have. But I've taken raw wool, I've cleaned it, and we didn't have cards, but we made picks out of nails. So you can pick the wool, and then turned it into rovings, and had a drop spindle and made yarn and plied it, and then dyed it and turned it in, the whole process, which is, you think about it now, you just go down to your big box stores and you just grab the yarn off the shelf, and you don't really think about what goes into that.
No, you just go buy a hat.
Yeah, or just go buy a hat that's made in Sri Lanka or something, which is ironic because they'll never get cold enough to wear them. But it's all these things, and so when you see somebody that has a homemade hat, you're like, oh, it's a hat. You don't think of what goes into that, making it. There's a lot of love that goes into that.
My winter hat is my daughter made for me.
Okay.
And I'm all about getting. Well, I'm a fat guy anyway, so to get anything custom fit or even fit close is next to impossible.
Yeah.
I went to JCPenney in the Fat Man's department and found a pair of shorts the other day, and I was like, woo!
Yeah.
Something that's not sweats or sweatshirt. Nobody makes that stuff anymore.
Yeah. Or when I used to be bigger, I always got ticked off. You're trying to find my size pants, and these little skinny brats are buying them so they can be hanging down around their ankles, and it just, leave my pants alone, But then with the sewing, sometimes you can find you can find stuff that you can adjust out, tailor it out, you know, custom. And my mom always had to do that with us boys.
Yeah.
You know, because we were big kids, and she was one for, you know, getting stuff, and my mom didn't sew, but she had a friend who did, and they traded out. I mean, that's something too with bartering.
Bartering, yeah.
That's a skill.
That's something that's way overlooked these days.
Yeah.
You know, everybody buys stuff, which in a way is bartering.
Yeah, you're
but
taking
you're using cash. You're doing the same thing over and over.
Yeah.
But I know if I'm in a spot and I've got a surplus of onions, I could go and trade them with somebody for some squash or something.
Yeah.
You know, I know enough people that garden around here that, you know, it's pretty easy to go and make a few trades. Some people just don't have good luck growing onions. Some people can't grow tomatoes.
Yeah.
You know, my wife is blessed with the ability to grow tomatoes like nobody's business. So we always have a good bunch of tomatoes.
Yeah. You know, then it's not only just the onions, the squash, or the tomatoes, but to take the tomatoes and be able to turn it into salsa and tomato sauce and and canning.
Yeah.
That's I got it was a gift my brother gave me a few years back. He bought me one of them big canners.
Oh yeah.
Pressure canners. And because we got talking about my grandmother and how grandma used to can meat. Well, she never pressure canned it. She water bag. You don't do that anymore. But a pressure canned meat, and it's not as hard as everybody thinks it is. You just follow the steps. It's actually pretty idiot proof, and the results are amazing. And so I mean, it's once you get that under your belt, then you're like, ooh, I'm gonna try this. Ooh, I'm gonna try, you know, and women are just amazed at me. You can, and it's yeah. I mean, it's you. To me, it's just you got to do it.
Yeah, and that's just not one of my skills.
No.
And I've never really been interested in it. I'd rather go out and fix a car.
Well, and that works out for me too, because it's not that I'm not like one. I don't want to get my hands dirty. It's just that cars and things, they elude me sometimes. I can help. I'm a real good helper. But as for like looking at something, okay, it's this. I don't know, but I mean, I can usually find somebody to help. And that's the thing, is just to.
But that's part of that bartering.
Yeah, I mean, to help somebody out. I mean, it's. Yeah. There's. You had mentioned in your
dumb phone.
Yeah. You had mentioned in your video yesterday. You had talked about
really
before we started taping, where that don't be a sheep, but don't necessarily be a wolf either, but be like a like a sheepdog, where the sheep respect you and they're kind of scared of you, but yet they'll still listen to you. Yeah. And that's the thing, is that
there's a happy spot in between.
Yeah.
You don't want anybody walking all over you, but yet you don't want to be the one that's being too aggressive and pissing everybody off.
Yeah.
Because they're going to kick you out of the group.
Yeah, because you need sheep. I mean, we all, it's like what they call it, a symbiotic. I mean, we all.
Yeah.
Well, it's community.
Yeah. I mean, you need to be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? To contain the aggression and be that wolf at certain times.
Well, yeah.
But you need to be able to release that aggression at the appropriate time.
Yeah.
If someone's trying to break into my house, and I'm a pretty easygoing kind of guy, but if somebody's trying to break into my house, the big bastard's going to come out, and nobody likes him.
No.
He used to come out a lot, and he doesn't so much anymore.
Well, you need that. You need the, and it's like, you looking historically, I mean, the Vikings had the berserkers,
Yeah.
And they use them in wars, and then they kind of learn where it's kind of like, oh crap, the war's over. What do we do with these guys now?
Yeah.
You know, and so I mean, everybody serves a purpose. It's just that you need
Quit
to, like,
smoking.
I know. Either that or stop breathing air. I want to, breathe smoke. Anyway, no, it's to find that happy medium. It's to find, well, I think that's why it's very useful to learn these skills, because, you've heard that idle hands are the devil's workshop, kind of thing. And kind of the
flippin' hobby.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say it's the Amish credo, but it's true to where if you keep busy with something, your mind will. So I mean, if you're always building things, you're always doing stuff. Because I'm not saying that the internet and TV are evil or nothing, but I mean, if you sit around too much on it, all of a sudden, you're not building skills, you're not learning things, you're not getting out doing stuff.
I know that I use the internet can go any direction you want it to, and I use it as a tool.
Yep.
And hopefully, the videos that I do here are a tool for somebody else along the way. But I use the internet. I look up a video and I'll sit and I'll go through stuff, and you do it. Get your search words in there, right? You'll find stuff that you need to know.
Yeah.
And I've learned a few things. I taught myself how to reload off of stuff that I read online and videos and that kind of thing.
Yep. Last year.
And reading the directions and such.
There's directions?
Yes, there are.
Oh my God. That's what that paper is I throw away.
Yes.
Last winter, when I had the amputation and stuff, or it wasn't this last, but the one before, I had a whole bunch of time on my hands and stuff, and I somehow got interested in beekeeping, and there's some really good videos on beekeeping on YouTube, and I seemed to be fascinated with it, and that spring my son was letting me know that he's seen some bees, and I'm just like, oh yeah, right. Well, as it turned out, to make a long story short, he was right, and we had one of them little, supposed to be a little porch over our front stoop, and it's hollow. And there were some bees that decided to make a home in there. Quite a few, I'd say about 7,000 or 8,000 bees. And so I, with the aid of one of the local beekeepers in town, and I helped out quite a bit. I got in there, knew what to do, pretty much. Was handling big curtains of comb with. Well, I'm not too angry, but with bees on them, and able to, if I wouldn't have been learning on YouTube, but it's like, it's okay to learn it, but you need to apply it.
Yeah.
And so, now I wouldn't be as scared to do it on a professional level.
Yeah. There's a lot of fun, watching Iraq veteran 8888 blow up a high-point pistol is kind of cool, but...
Yeah.
But at the same time, learning how to do some work on that high point is probably a better idea. I know I've got some videos coming up, some reviews and stuff on high points as soon as I can get around to getting back to the range again. But I don't know. There's you can learn a lot of skills right off of YouTube. If I want to learn how to can, I can turn to YouTube and I can find out how to do it. It's all on there.
And I found out there's this new invention.
Really?
They're called books.
Yeah.
Yeah. I found Carla Emery. It's called Homesteader's Almanac. And it is 700 and some odd pages, Homesteading A to Z, that's what it's called. And 780 some pages of homesteadings. And she covers, everything from birth to death.
Yeah.
Literally. And a lot of really, actually a lot of this it's more sound actually than some of the stuff
right.
She's lived it. And then there's wife got me some beekeeping books and stuff, and those are nice to have solid. I mean, it's always nice to go back to the internet, but if things go south, we may not. We're probably the internet's going to be one of the first ones to suffer.
Well, and if you lose power, you don't have the internet.
Yep.
What are you going to do?
Yep.
Because it's not just you that's out of power. Your ISP probably doesn't have power either.
Yeah.
They're probably pretty limited on how long they can keep going.
I mean, and you're like, well, I'll just go to my iPad that I have stuff. Well, wait a minute, this doesn't work either.
Yeah.
And this doesn't work either, and this don't, there's going to be people lying out in the middle. You're going to see people walking around with their phones going, you got any signal?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean.
Well, and these cheap solar lights that you can get at Walmart, I took one apart one day and all that's in there is some AAA batteries, AAA rechargeable batteries.
Yep, you can use them as a recharger.
Yeah, I mean, I paid like $2 for the friggin' light, and the batteries were worth more than the light.
Mm-hmm.
But, so you take that, you stick your batteries and change your batteries out in there and just have the charger and don't use the light,
Yeah, yeah.
Stick it in there and set it out in the sun, and lo and behold, we have charged batteries again.
Yeah, there's some really cool, Harbor Freight's got some, they're okay. I mean, they'll serve a basic purpose with the LEDs and stuff that they have to go along with them. I found out with those that you really want to, you can have the cheaper solar panels, but your charge control, you're going to need a decent charge control.
Yeah.
Because that's what will put more power into your batteries.
Yeah.
But that's another, I mean, you could spend years researching solar. And, but it's to learn, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's I think all of this boils down to the desire to learn.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't want to learn.
A lot of people are just lazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
when it boils down to it.
If I look at just in my lifetime, some of the things that, well, look, when we were kids, what did we do all day? What did you do all day in the summer? I was either fishing, we were out riding our bikes, we were out doing, so we weren't even in the house. We didn't even know what the house was for. As far as we knew, the house was for sleeping. Kids these days, I'll see kids running around our neighborhood. Now that we live in town, I live in a neighborhood, there's a lot of kids around here. But I'll see them running around for a couple, except the lady across the corner, kitty corner from us. Her kids are always outside. And that's the way it should be. Get the kids out. We got fat kids. I'm fat too, but we got fat kids. Why? Because they're sitting on their dead ass in front of the TV, playing on their iPads, playing their video games. Yep. Get them out. They need to be outside. Minnesota kind of sucks in the winter. It's hard to be outside a lot in the winter because, let's face it, it gets a little nippy up here.
Yeah, you dressed for it, and
yeah. I mean, we used to be outside all the time in the winter, digging our snow forts and stuff.
Yep.
And my kids did it too. I used to give my kids an hour of TV time a day. Yeah. And that's all they got. So.
Yeah, I mean, we just noticed yesterday there was the family that moved into the east of us that they're always outside.
Yep.
And I could do it yesterday being Father's Day. I could just hear the mother, "It's Father's Day. Get your butt outside and play. Leave your dad alone." Yeah, and we were always, and it was brothers and sisters, and oh my God, they were playing together. They were playing soccer.
Yeah.
Or they call it football, but I mean, they were playing soccer together and stuff, and that's what we were talking about too. Where it's like you look around, they're the only family that was.
Yeah, nobody else is outside.
No, just those.
There's probably 30 kids living in the neighborhood, and there's 1, 2, 3 kids outside. Yep. This lady's got her 3 kids out, and they're always outside. And she's out there with them, playing with them.
Yeah.
So, a little note to parents, get off your dead ass. Play with your kids. There's one thing that, when I was growing up, my dad was out of the picture really early in my life. I was like 4 or 5 years old. He was pretty much out of the picture. So Mom raised us, and it turned out all right. I think I made her proud.
Yeah.
But she wasn't able to come out and do a lot with us, but she would make sure we'd go on camping trips and stuff.
Yeah.
Just about, go on a couple of them a year, just to spend family time. Which, I didn't always want to spend time with my sister, but I did.
Yeah. That's how you learn tolerance.
Yes.
I got 2 older brothers, and in their cases, it was they got a little older, a little wiser. Hey, we got a little brother, and so I mean there were times where I was the butt end of many a joke, but we.
You still are, by the way.
Oh, I know that. That's how you learn. Like I say, you learn tolerance and stuff, but I mean you learn acceptance, and that's all part about being in a society. Is that
Yeah.
Somebody's always going to want to try to be the top dog, but really when it boils down to it, it's the people that know. I don't trust somebody that hi, I'm important. Okay, let's see what you can do. That's how I that's how I do people. Or it's like if you can.
Well, let's see. You think you're important.
Yeah.
You have to prove it to me.
Yeah, pretty much. And yeah. So, I mean, it's back to the going to the learning skills. My mom was a part of a Weight Watchers group. It wasn't Weight, they call it TOPS.
Yeah.
Take out pounds sensibly, and their thing was once a month eliminate something bad. So in this one, I go through and once a month I try to learn something good.
Yep.
And then once you got that one down, then you tackle another one. Then you go back and I got a scarf I started. That was my one thing for the month, and I really need to, even though it's June, I need to go back and finish that. So the wife will have
That's actually a really good idea. Take one skill. Maybe you take one and learn one new skill every year, but get proficient with it.
Yeah.
Take the time. I found myself in a spot where I needed a lot of welding done. And to go out and pay somebody to weld gets kind of expensive. And I'm not very good at it, and I kind of got some basics back in high school, but that was all arc welding. They didn't really have MIG welders then. And so I never learned how to use a MIG welder. And I finally bought one a couple of years ago and said, now I'm going to learn how to weld. I'm going to learn what I need to do to make what I need, because I ain't buying everything I need. It just isn't going to happen because I can't. I wind up paying somebody to make the part for me when I'm perfectly capable of it.
Yeah.
I know how to do body work. I just didn't know how to weld the panels in, So I picked up this welder, and I've gotten okay with it. It's not a very expensive welder, but it serves my purposes.
Yeah, that's something too. Is back when this country, way back, when we were still under British rule, that's a
couple days ago.
That we knew how to do things. We knew how to, we knew how to blow glass. Actually, we did a pretty good job of it. We knew how to, make things, and the British were taking it and exporting it because it was good enough, and then they were making us buy their crap, and we didn't want to. Well, it's kind of the same thing now. Is that we're you look at the labels in the store, and it's made in Sri Lanka, made here, and it's just like, well, that's our own damn fault, because we demanded cheaper products for this and that, and then you're getting what you pay for.
Yep, exactly.
You can buy a jacket for $24, but it's going to last like a $24 jacket too.
Yeah.
It's going to fall apart, and you can't fix it.
No,
those you can't fix.
No.
So I mean,
buy a good pair of Levi's jeans, and you can fix what happens with them.
Yeah.
I've got a pair now that one of the belt loops broke off it, and it just happened that the hole, where it was stitched on, just got wore out. And I think I'm going to do a video on fixing that, because maybe it's something you guys can know.
Yeah.
I'll use my machine, get at it. I'll have to do that one of these days. I got a whole lot of ideas, since nobody leaves suggestions. So, it's been a little bit, so I think we're going to have to go away. Any last words you want to say?
None that I can really. It was a pretty good discussion this time. I think the main thing is just never stop, not just learning from YouTube and stuff, but to take what you've learned and apply it. That's the biggest thing.
Yeah, learn new things, do new things.
Because brakes ain't no good until you step on the pedal.
Yeah. Get off your ass. Quit watching your TV, watching your computer.
Get out and do something.
Do something.
Yep.
All right. With that, we're gonna figure out something else to do. I got a meeting in about half an hour. But so stay safe. God bless, and have a great day.